Speaking of watching shit, I finished Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah,
no way.
I watched the entire thing. So
it sounds like you're about to take back everything you said about it.
No, I'm not. I really enjoyed it, but it's like there's a season 2, right? I guess I've bought into this now. You know, it's like I thought it ended definitively at 25, and it's like,
oh really?
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it to the end. And you know what was really annoying too is that I kept saying like, oh yeah, I just checked this out, and I mentioned on the podcast last week. I got so many emails that were like, oh, are you at this boring part yet, or are you at this? I quit here, or I stopped here. It was all great. I enjoyed the shit out of it till the end. But it definitely ended like, that was a great season finale. Will continue, yes. I guess but I think it will, because the manga's ongoing. It hasn't stopped. So, hey, if there's a season 2, I'm in.
I'm into season 2 of Breaking Bad. I know I'm late. I'm watching Breaking Bad now.
You're LTTP.
What does that mean?
Link to the past? No, late to the party.
Link to the past. I am Link to the past. You know what? I'm enjoying Breaking Bad. It's a good show. You should watch it if you haven't seen it.
If you've never heard of it.
If you've never heard of it,
check it out.
Does it make you want to try meth?
It's about drugs. No. Again. Surprisingly, you know, like I used to watch Sopranos and everybody's smoking cigarettes and making money illegally in Sopranos, and it makes you think like, oh man, I want to light up a cigarette and go do some crime. I mean, you know you want to do that when you watch Sopranos, but there is such an underrepresentation of people actually doing meth in Breaking Bad. Not once. Haven't had the desire to try meth one time.
I feel like the later you get in that show, like the more seasons and everything, you will see other people who do meth, and then you'll just go, that's not, I don't, no thanks.
Because that's meth.
Interesting.
Exactly.
I'm only in season 2. I'm probably halfway through season 2. And I every show like this, I always compare back to Sopranos. Because Sopranos is my favorite. And it was kind of the
default.
Yeah, and it was the first of its kind of show for this quote unquote golden age of television with serialized shows that are as good as movies, if not better. If you like a long story. And I feel like so far, you know, they're both well-written shows. I think I like the characters in Sopranos a little bit more. I feel like the characters in Breaking Bad are not as well realized.
No.
It kind of just more fit into these compartments of, you know...
That you're absolutely right.
This character comes at this... fits into the story from this aspect, and this character fits into it from this aspect, and this character fits into it from this one. Where Sopranos is really like, hey, these are all... deep, well-rounded characters.
Yeah.
Any one of these characters could have their own show.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, but I'm really enjoying it so far, so I'll give you some updates on my opinion as I go on. Brian's watching it too for the first time as well.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Too bad he's not here.
I really thought season 1 and 2, I mean, it wasn't that it wasn't entertaining. It was, but that was it for me. Like, I didn't like any of the characters. It was constantly negative, but without any redemptive thing from any one character. You know, and exactly what you said about like, you can't really base you're not going to base a show off of any character in Breaking Bad on their own, you know, and whatever. So I thought it was entertaining, but I was just kind of like, whatever. Season 3 is when I really started to I felt like they started to just let a character do something for an hour, you know, as opposed to just, oh, look at this happen. Oh, look at this happen.
Yeah.
Season 3 gets some episodes that I really feel like, oh, they just let these guys talk for a little while. Thank you. Now I know where this guy's coming from. Or now I know. So I have to say, season 3 definitely brought me around a little bit on it.
Season 4 made me fall off, though.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, 4 I still maintain was miserable. Yeah. But there's more great stuff after that. It's overall good. I mean,
I'm going through it really fast.
Yeah, that's good.
I forget, like, when a show is all available for you to watch all at once, you can, like, kill it. Yeah. Just move through it in a week.
Yeah, and actually, I do want to say, when I was talking about Attack on Titan a minute ago, there were people telling me, oh, this part's so boring. Oh, I quit at this part. I am watching it. You got to keep in mind through the context of, man, I've watched the whole show in 3 days, and I can't understand, you know, hey, maybe there's some that people had to wait 2 weeks for an episode, and then they got one where it's just kind of, let's talk about this one thing. Okay, the end. That might be frustrating if you waited weeks for, but I didn't, you know. And that's kind of, you know, same with, you know, a lot of these shows. It's a whole different context.
That's the best thing about binge viewing.
Yeah. So far, I'm enjoying it. It really reminds me of like a more hardcore version of that show, Weeds. I don't think anybody ever watched Weeds.
My sister loved that show.
I really liked Weeds.
I didn't know the appeal.
It was a good show. It went on way too long. But the first 3 seasons are really good, and this show is, in my opinion, really similar. Whereas, just like somebody from the suburbs needs to make money, they fall on hard times, and they need to make money, and they turn to going into a career in selling drugs, even though they've never done that, and they come from like a white collar regular
Upper
family.
middle class
Yeah,
background.
exactly.
But you know what I have to say? The difference for me, I saw only really a handful of episodes of Weeds. I felt like Weeds constantly had this air of shoving it in your face. She says, "Weed, whoa, ah!" Like it was constantly like this smirky thing shoved in your face. Whereas Breaking Bad felt as crazy as it might be that this guy turned to a world of meth, made it feel natural. And like, wow, I kind of am with him on this.
Like he wouldn't be joking around about it because he doesn't want to.
Well,
do
I
it
think
now.
whatever. It's just.
I think Weeds started off as a comedy and then kind of moved into like this thriller drama. And Breaking Bad knows that it's a thriller drama from the beginning.
That's true.
And Weeds really fell apart after the 3rd season. Yeah. So
it's interesting. You said your frame of reference for a show like that is Sopranos.
Uh-huh.
Mine is Lost because that's really the big show that. That's
sure.
the only real big show that I've seen like that. And you said in season 2, they haven't started letting one character kind of have a story and go with it. And that seems to be all Lost was.
Yeah.
Was each episode was just, this is a Kate episode. Next episode was a Locke episode.
Yeah.
So you got that full hour of just that character progression. And that's something I really appreciate.
And that's the kind of thing I'm into too, so it's a little rough for me, Breaking Bad.
Just
But like
Breaking
I said,
Bad,
I thought they came around.
Because I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never even seen episodes of the show. I saw the last episode. I was at a party where
a
they
good
were
place to
watching.
start.
Watch them backwards.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was at
Like
a
it's like
party,
Lost.
and it was like, well, I'm not going to not go to this party. I'll just have to, whatever. And we watched the last episode. It was good.
yeah.
Watch it backwards and then call it Breaking Begins.
True.
It's like a reverse deal.
Fixing bad.
Fixing good, breaking good.
It starts really shitty, and then he cures his cancer and gets a job at a high school. Fixing bad. And he grows his hair out.
I feel like
Sick.
God,
He's got a good
someone's-
look at the end.
There's probably a YouTube video of Breaking Bad in reverse, and
I'm sure.
all
Sure
that happens. Yeah, he
sure
gets a
somebody
good
did it.
job with a nice haircut at a
You know,
school.
I started The Wire and I did the first season. I was like,
Thank you.
Do they use
I mean,
guns in
and
the
I,
Wire?
and under no circumstances am I saying it was bad. It was okay.
I don't understand.
I just feel
though.
like
I don't
no,
understand.
I
I
feel
heard
like-
it's the best show ever.
I feel like there's
ever.
so much praise for The Wire, and I watched the first season. In fact, I watched into the 2nd season, and I was kind of bored and not into it. And people always give me gruff for that, so it's just really nice to hear that somebody else watched it and just fell off.
People give you gruff?
Yeah, it wasn't even.
Yeah, people were
I
like-
didn't dislike it. It's just-
People always make this argument with me. You have to watch all 6 or 7 seasons of The Wire to really enjoy it. And I come back, it's like
You don't have
hey,
to do anything.
I fucking watched like 19 hours of a show.
It still sucks.
I'm not entitled to like enjoy it yet.
Yeah.
I have to keep on fucking watching
Yeah,
it.
the realization for me with that was when everyone told me to watch Veronica Mars, and it was like I watched 16 of them
Filmed
and
in
was
San
like,
Diego.
wait, why did I watch 16? This is like horrible. Oh, you're almost at the end.
It's
yeah,
on-
but it's been 16 hours and this sucks. I
You
don't
know what? That's, of all things, that's on Amazon Instant View, like I think the whole show.
What,
Veronica
Prime.
Mars.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah, I mean,
Well, we'll watch it. I'll watch all of it.
let's watch
We'll
it
see.
together.
There's a CCT star was born into that show.
Yeah.
No, I felt like
Kristen Bell.
You know, The Wire was interesting, but every episode just it wasn't enough. And then I watched 5 episodes, and that felt really unsatisfying too. And then I watched a whole season, and I still felt unsatisfied.
Yeah.
And it's a good show, and the acting is good, but just the way that the writing is for me, it's just like I never get this thing to really like sink my teeth into and just be like, wow, this show's awesome. It's just always like, and then, and then, and then it's just, you know, I had other things to do.
For me, it's hard to get into a new show or even an
Yeah.
old show.
That's
like,
what it is for me, too.
You know, I know I would love Sopranos, and I need to sit down and watch that one day. And I know Breaking Bad as well, but there's shows out there that I love rewatching. Like I've never seen Lost the second time. I've only
Yeah.
seen it once.
Yeah.
I'd love to rewatch Lost. I mean, I bought the fucking Blu-rays.
Yeah.
I should probably
Just start.
Yeah,
Just start. Just
but
do it.
but you know, then it's like, well, what's the decision? Start watching that or start watching Sopranos? I mean, Sopranos is good, and I've never seen that.
Oh, watch Sopranos.
Or
Yeah.
do I want to watch Twin Peaks again? I mean, like,
no. Fuck that.
I do. But there's, I think that's a problem now with. I've heard this argument that we have access to so much media. It's harder to choose because we have so many more choices.
But I mean, you watch Walking Dead, so there are shows around that you still watch, like newer
Yeah,
shows.
there are. There's some new stuff on television that I still watch. I have to go to other means to find it now because we're not getting cable anymore.
Yep.
But it's pretty easy to get Walking Dead on iTunes and stuff. And
Dominic was talking about this, though, that he's like, Dominic doesn't get into any TV shows.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, why? Are there none that interest you? And he's like, because people tell me these shows that I have to watch, but they just yell the names.
yeah, they don't tell
I
you
was
why.
like, really?
you
He's
gotta
like, yeah,
watch it.
I've never heard, here's the reasons for Game of Thrones and why you would enjoy it. It's Game of Thrones!
Yeah.
And he's like, and I can't get anything from that. What is that?
Sorry, Doctor Who fans, but that's the biggest,
Yeah.
I think. One.
Hey,
I've
I
never
think-
had anybody tell me why I would like Doctor Who.
what the
I think
appeal
I've
is.
said this before, but you guys are very good at it. Just not on the podcast, whatever. Just conversationally going like, "Hey, you'd like the show? You should check it out. Why?" And then you will give
Yeah.
reasons as to why
Yeah.
you think I, in specific,
Yeah.
will
Weren't we talking-
enjoy something.
Yeah, weren't we talking about that, Derek? Was it about games? That you will
Yeah.
make... Yeah, well, no. Yeah, we were talking about that with
Derek's
video
totally
games.
sold me
Because,
on games.
hey, because people... I've never been big on Grand Theft Auto. That's never been one of my big things, whatever. Grand Theft... When a new one comes out, like Grand Theft Auto 5 comes out, it's exactly what Dominic is talking about. It's people yelling the name, yeah, you don't play Grand Theft Auto 5, ah! You're an idiot, ah! And it's like, what's new in this one? What's good about this? But Derek will come in and go... There's something I think you would really like in Grand Theft Auto. I've been manipulating the stock market, where I bought stock in fucking Burger King, whatever, and then I went to a competing chain and killed everybody. And it's like, that's a thing to latch onto.
Oh, yeah.
I want to try that. I want to try that out, You can't just... And this goes to anybody, I think, trying to get anybody into anything. You can't just yell the name and go, oh my God. You have to, there's got to be something to hook them in. I just don't want... I'm not interested if all there is the name and
But
how crazy...
Rocco,
How crazy
But there's a TARDIS, though.
Thank you for noticing that about me. And to relate this back to our other conversation, getting back to The Wire, I never got one of those things.
Of course
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Of course not.
I haven't either.
Because,
I haven't
hey,
either.
Derek,
No one's told
who
me.
recommended it to you?
I don't know, a bunch of people.
Yeah, I mean, are those people whose
you not
opinions
wanna
like
say
you
it?
really
Are you
trust, though?
embarrassed? You wanna throw them under the bus?
It's not that there's anybody in particular. It's literally, it's like I've had maybe 10 or 20 different
But they didn't
conversations.
give you a reason.
Well, here's the most formed reason as to why the show is really good. It's because the creator was actually a cop. So he knows the ins and outs of what it's really like to be a cop. That was the most convincing reason I ever got. But there was never like, hey, there's a part where something like this happens and then this happens. And it's like, holy shit. And I know that's not a very good explanation as to what I'm grasping for, but,
Right,
it's just a paramount moment that pretty much sums up, like, this was like an awesome 10 minutes of my life where I was just like, I forgot about the rest of the world and I was all about what was going on right here.
I still feel, though, that you kind of glossed over what Garrett was trying to say. There is a TARDIS.
Yeah, there's a
on
TARDIS.
Doctor Who.
There's a TARDIS, yeah.
So you haven't obviously watched it yet,
Speaking of glossed over.
and you need to. So thank you.
There is a TARDIS. The TARDIS is a phone booth, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's big inside.
Because it's broken. It's a broken TARDIS.
They can't fix it. 14 seasons of a show, they haven't been able to fix it. Can't fix your
They
fucking...
travel through time and fight aliens.
Are there more than 14?
Who knows? They threw away episodes of the show because back in the day, they didn't realize, why save this? So they just threw away episodes.
But you know what you were talking about, though, Derek, with that stuff?
yeah,
I
apparently
don't
the
even-
creator wasn't a cop. I don't know. Somebody told me he was a fucking cop.
But I feel like you don't even necessarily need to tell somebody a scene. Hey, there's a show where this and this and this happens. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
you do. But all you need to tell me is hey, I think it has some of the best actors ever on TV. Or, Rocco, I know you like writing like The Lost. like Lost. You would like this show because it's reminiscent in this way that there's a vague mystery. You know, or it's just something where it's an explanation.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I need, and I don't get it.
For Sopranos, there's a lot of classic episodes where you could tell somebody the premise of the episode and it would make them want to watch the whole series. Like, hey, there's an episode of Sopranos where Tony has to take his daughter to look at colleges, and while he's there, he thinks he sees an old rat. So the whole episode is
someone
about...
in witness protection.
So the whole episode is about him, trying to figure out if this is this dude who used to work with him who's in witness protection, and B, trying to take care of this guy without his daughter, like, ruining this trip to his daughter's college town. That alone is like... That's a predicament where it's like,
I want to see that.
Holy shit, I wonder what could fucking happen in that episode. And it's just, that's the difference. There's no situations like that, so...
Yeah, no one's ever said to me, there's an episode the TARDIS is all fucked up. I don't know.
Hey, Doctor Who.
And
where's the Doctor Who episode where they like
fez.
try to fix the TARDIS? Where it's like an hour of like
an hour long where they're just outside of the TARDIS trying to fix it.
You know what? I don't know. That episode probably exists. I'm still not going to watch it.
I feel like that show's target group is like girls who think that the actor who plays Doctor Who is cute.
I can't even.
And then
I don't even know enough about Doctor Who to speculate.
Well, this is what I know, that all the girls think that the guys who play the Doctor is a cute guy, so they like the show, and they watch it and they gush over the guy.
Yeah.
And now the new season, the Doctor Who actor is like in his 70s.
Yeah.
So he's like an old man.
That's
credit.
cool.
Hey, credit.
And
where
girls are like,
credit where credit is due. I actually think that was a neat move.
Oh, really? They wanted to get rid of that stigma.
I feel like a big percentage of Doctor Who fans, at least that I know, seriously are talk about how cute the Doctor is. Exactly what you're saying. And so the fact that they picked a new one and it's an old ass man was like, hey, to buck the trend.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. I thought that was
girls
funny.
still got Bieber. He's a bad boy now.